For a fresh fragrance to get a 10 out of 10 rating, the scent profile must be really well blended, the ingredients have to smell really high quality, the performance needs to be at least 8 hours. I don't mind either way about projection. I think you can have some softly projecting fragrances and louder stuff as well. The wearability needs to be at least 3 out of 4 seasons to get maximum value for your money, so you can wear it as much of the year round as possible. And lastly, the price has to be either fair or excellent. We have 6 fragrances we're covering today. Let's get into it. By the time you are watching this video, Atrium Fragrance's Mr. Majestic is now out for pre-order. From the Monday to Friday of this week, this is the only time you can ever purchase Mr. Majestic. This is a fragrance that's going to be made to order in the pre-order campaign. And we already have around 500 notifications of people who want to buy the pre-order, and based on previous campaigns, the number that correlates to ends up being quite accurate to the number of people who end up pre-ordering. Bear in mind, Mr. Maritime sold out in less than 2 days. Atrium is all about pushing forward the new ideas in the fragrance industry, making us go to new concepts and being creative in our releases. So if you want to come and join us on this journey, go to Mr. Majestic's product page and link down below and click order now, because it's the only time you can ever get it, and you get a 2 ml sample with it so you can try the fragrance before you open the main products. This is a gorgeous masculine take on the plum note that I feel is underrepresented in men's perfumery. So we've done an introduction video of Mr. Majestic, we've done a public reactions video of Mr. Majestic, so you can check them both out if you need more information, but make sure you go ahead and order sooner rather than later. Thank you. We're going to do this list from the most affordable to the most expensive. Carolina Herrera's 212 Men NYC. This fragrance walked in 1999 so that Dior Sauvage could run. It is a very smooth, a little bit sharp, musky, fresh out the shower fragrance. So that's where the Sauvage relation comes into it. That has this hint of greenness. When guys think of a fragrance being green, they think it's going to be old school, too mature for them to wear. I actually think this is a very youthful fragrance. This is the best young man's green fragrance. It is extremely easy to wear, incredibly sexy, and an absolute steal for the price. The reason this fragrance gets a 10 out of 10 is because, bear in mind, this usually sells for around £70, but in the UK you can often find this in discounters. I think I got this bottle for maybe 25 to £30, which is an absolute steal. If you can get this fragrance for £30 or less, this is such a great affordable fragrance. It has the versatility of just being fresh, clean, easy to wear, 10 hours longevity. It smells really high quality. It does actually have the quality of a higher end designer fragrance, and you can just wear it all year round. The price is excellent. Find this in discounters. This is such a nice, musky, sharp, fresh out of the shower, slightly green scent, really handsome, has that tiny bit of sweetness to balance it out. I think this easily deserves a 10 out of 10, and I'm consistent with this rating because I previously gave this a 10 out of 10 in our cheap fragrance video about the fragrances that are cheap. I give it a 10 out of 10 rating as well. So it stays consistent. One of the best cheap fragrances ever made, and I think too sadly forgotten about. And I love the fact that it's made in 1999. I think it's one of the first bottles with a magnetic lid, and it still stands the test of time. It's a really good fragrance. If you've tried 212 Men NYC, do you guys think it deserves the score I'm giving it? Next up is Alexandria Fragrance's Black Panther. Wakanda forever indeed. I just made that up on the spot, guys. That's a great joke. Hopefully you're laughing behind your monitor. If not, this is very awkward. But I actually do think this is a masterpiece. This is a clone house. Alexandria Fragrances takes popular inspired by fragrances. So this is Bulgari Tiger in this case, and I kind of think it actually makes Tiger a little bit redundant. They've done so well in cloning that fragrance that you really don't need to spend hundreds of dollars anymore. I spent £35 on this 30 ml, and I think it's an absolute steal. So yes, if you go mil for mil, this is about half the price of Tiger, but I think a 30 ml will do you fine. If you're a collector, you probably have lots of fragrances in your collection anyways. It might not get through a full bottle regardless. So I think a 30 ml of this made me very happy. It's very similar to Tiger's quality and scent profile. I actually think Tiger is a bit of an overpriced fragrance in general, hence probably why it's easy for a clone to sort of match it. But this is basically the best fragrance for somebody who wants a musky, clean scent. It's very thick in its muskiness that gives it that longevity. I get about 10 to 12 hours of this fragrance, whilst it's still very affordable and very versatile as well. It's just a fresh, clean, musky scent with that slight grapefruit note in there. Very mass appealing, very sexy, very easy to wear, masculine. It's sort of like if you like Club de Nuit Intense Man, but you don't like how cheap that smells, and you want something that's a bit different as well, I say this is the superior alternative to Club de Nuit Intense Man, the Eau de Toilette. So for £35, this is an absolute steal. It is rare for a clone fragrance to make the original redundant, completely redundant, and this is just impressive for that fragrance to do that. So this is Black Panther by Alexandria Fragrances. Have you tried it? Do you agree with my 10 out of 10 rating? Chanel's Allure Homme Sport O EXR. This is a case of a fragrance that's not to my style, but I'm objectively giving this a 10 out of 10. Just because I don't particularly like a fragrance doesn't mean I should put it down for what it's achieved. The blend is extremely smooth. For me, it's a bit too smooth, but hey, it's still very smooth and done very well to Chanel quality. The scent profile smells very expensive in general. The ingredients smell expensive. I get great performance around 8 hours plus. Wearability is fantastic. It's very fresh, light, and sporty, as the name suggests, but at the same time, it's got that thick creaminess from the tonka bean, and I think it's very fair for its asking price. Basically, Allure Homme Sport O EXR is the smoothest, minty, musky fragrance with a hint of mandarin you'll ever smell. Sporty, fresh, musky, clean, and just very, very smooth and creamy. This is the creamy, smooth signature for the kind of guy who wants to smell elegant whilst being fresh. So if you like to dress up in the gym, for example, you actually care about how you look in places like the gym, this would be a great fragrance for you. If you just want a fragrance you can take it with you on your travels, on holiday, and it works everywhere, it smells expensive, this fragrance is for you. This is not my favorite style of fragrance. I personally prefer the original Allure Homme Sport, but I would still give this a 10 out of 10 and Allure Homme Sport 9 out of 10 if I take my own subjective opinion out of it. This does a lot and packs a lot of value into one bottle, so I definitely recommend it. Do you agree or disagree with my 10 out of 10 rating with Chanel Allure Homme Sport O EXR? Try to take your own personal subjectivity out of it. Try to keep it objective based on the criteria I'm discussing. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you're one of our regular viewers. I noticed in our statistics where about 29% of our viewers are actually subscribed to the channel. So that's a shame. I really wish we could bring that up to 40%, guys. If you really want to see the channel grow, that would be the easiest way to do it. It would really help us out, guys. Mancera's Cedrat Boise Intense. This fragrance for me is for the educated fragrance collector who wants their version of Dior Sauvage. So why do I say it's the fragrance collector's Dior Sauvage? Because first of all, it's extremely mass appealing. This is one of the most complimented DNAs in general, both the Cedrat Boise original and I think Intense just improves this now. It has longevity of Sauvage, 10 to 12 hours. It's got medium amount of projection, probably similar to Sauvage's projection. It has the mass appeal, it has the wearability, you can wear this all year round, and it's very similarly priced. It is a woody citrus fragrance similar to Sauvage that does everything that Sauvage does, but it's more unique, it's not overplayed, and it's just a fantastically blended and masterful fragrance. I think this is probably Mancera's best fragrance actually, because the value you get, especially on discounters, I got this 60 ml for £60, which is just a steal. I think that's cheaper than Sauvage actually. It's absolutely insane if you can get this on a good price. And I definitely recommend you look out for it because, as I said, I think it's the best from the brand and it just achieves so much. It's just a really sexy, smoky, woody citrus fragrance with a blackcurrant touch in there as well. It does a lot of things, it's really creative, it's a really, really great improvement, a great flanker from the brand. Do you agree or disagree with my 10 out of 10 rating? Penhaligon's Sartorial. Classy, elegant barbershop fragrance with a sweet honey note in there. I will overall say this is a fresh fragrance because I feel like it's more of a daytime scent, but maybe in the cooler weather. More for a guy who's around 25 years old and above. Beau de Jour, I think, is a great introduction to barbershop fragrances, but I think if you want to delve in a bit deeper to the genre, Sartorial is your next bet. So this is like fragrance number 2 you go into and try out or buy. Sartorial, similar to Cedrat Boisi Intense, is actually what I think is one of the best fragrances in Penhaligon's. It's one of their older bottles, so I think it gets forgotten about a little bit, maybe compared to Halfeti or their animal head bottles. I think Sartorial just slept on. It's such a masterful barbershop scent. Aftershavey, creamy, clean, elegance. Perfect office fragrance in the wintertime. That's the kind of perfect scenario I see this in. But you can wear this in the winter, autumn, spring, 8 hours longevity with a soft projection. The scent profile is so unique. I still have not smelled anything like it to this day. It's very clean, but also got the honey. It's very rare for men's fragrances to have honey in it, so when you do see it, you definitely appreciate it. And it smells super expensive. I got this for £100. For £100, this is a steal. Easily an elegant signature a man can wear most of the year round. Have you tried Sartorial? Do you agree or disagree with my 10 out of 10 rating? And finally, this last one I've been meaning to get for a long time. I spent £230 to get this, or around $270. This is Bond No. 9 Lafayette Street. In one of our recent posts, I mentioned that actually I find this fragrance to be the perfect scent for a guy who loves La Nuit de l'Homme by YSL but wishes it lasted longer. I'm not saying they smell similar, I'm saying they have a similar scent family. They're both spicy, woody ambers. To me, Lafayette Street is the hypothetical baby between Parfums de Marly's Percival and La Nuit de l'Homme by YSL coming together. It's very appley, clean, spicy. It's got this woody amber base underneath it that gives it longevity. They've used ambroxan here. It's definitely an ambroxan based scent. This is where, so the apple and ambroxan are kind of where I get the Percival comparison with. but they made it very, very nice. I think Ambroxan has several variants, and there's definitely more expensive variants of Ambroxan. That's why the Ambroxan in Baccarat Rouge 540 I love, I don't mind it at all, whilst the Ambroxan in Sauvage gives me a headache. This is more expensive Ambroxan to my nose. It's a very warm and sexy and seductive Ambroxan. This is such a great signature fragrance you can wear all year round, day and night. This is the definition of a signature, super versatile. So usually it was £300. That's kind of why I didn't want to pull the trigger for a long time, but then I saw it on discount in Nutina for £230. And then I think a few days later, it came down even further in price to £190. So I'm a little bit annoyed, but at the same time, hey, go jump on that deal, because I think for £200, easy 10 out of 10. When it's £300, maybe it's a point of contention, that price. You can say, okay, maybe it deserves a 9.5 out of 10 at that point, but at the price I got it, 10 out of 10 easily. A sexy, unique, spicy, woody amber fragrance that gets so much of the balance right. The cleanliness is balanced out by the sweetness. Nothing clashes too much. It's all working in tandem. A really super fantastic blend. And you will base your longevity on this fragrance based on how well you can smell Ambroxan. It is definitely an Ambroxan-based scent. I get around 8 to 10 hours with a soft to medium projection. And that concludes this video, guys. Do you agree with my 10 out of 10 ratings for these fragrances? Have you tried any of these? And do you agree with my criteria on how I give a fragrance a 10 out of 10? Which fragrances would you consider ultimately fresh that you would give a 10 out of 10 rating yourself? If you haven't seen our previous video on cheap fragrances, I'd give a 10 out of 10 rating. Make sure you check it out, guys. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.